Now that I'm back home in my home studio, I'm reflecting on all that just happened in New Orleans. What's the word? I'm Spadey, your admirer, and I just want to set the scene of my interview with Cami-Oh. Now, Cami invited me to experience her performance in New Orleans. She performed a number of great tracks, but mostly those from her current release, Chemical Christ. This performance took place at the Mudlock Public Theater, which is a buzzing place full of puppetry and artistic expression. It's a must-see if you're going to be in the Musicians Village side of town. It's a sunny but slightly ominous Monday. Magazine Street is buzzing since it's a bit warmer than the previous cold and windy weekend. Our luggage is stowed behind us as we are T-minus 2 hours from our flights departing back to our homes. We're sitting in the near front left-hand corner of a PJ's Coffee. The door swinging open every minute as adults, teens, and even four-legged friends come in to get a taste of PJ's. Cami is enjoying a coffee, in which I'm not sure what it is exactly, and I'm enjoying a cold brew with 2 espresso shots. Also on the table is our first ever beignets, and my iPhone, which is recording this interview.
I am with the great, the awesome, the amazing Cami-Oh. Cami,
hello.
What's going on? So, we came down on, what is it, Friday? Or you came on Friday?
I came down Friday night.
Yes. And I came on Saturday. What was Friday night like?
I was just kind of going to bars on St. Cloud Avenue, telling people about my show. They ended up not coming. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, when the stuff closed here, and they just said when the money stops. So it was a really chill vibe.
Yes.
And yeah, I just kind of walked around the area in, what's it called over there? Musicians Village and St. Cloud.
What was the vibe like over there?
It was kind of like hipstery over there. It was a lot of like smaller houses and like bars and like deli looking places.
Nice.
But there wasn't, I don't think stuff was open like 24/7 there, but it was more like they closed whenever they feel like it.
Truly. Truly. Nice. Yeah, I've been over there to Musicians Village before. Yeah, it's a really interesting energy over there. So that's cool that you got to fill it out on Friday, and then on Saturday, that's when I got here, and yeah, you seemed like you were pretty perked about the show, so that was cool. Can you give me a visual or in like a read of what the feeling was before the show, during the show? Let's start before the show. What were you thinking?
I guess before the show, I mean, I wasn't really expecting anyone to come because it was so cold. And it still had kind of like, there weren't that many people, but there's at least like friends of the artists and stuff that were there. The other artists that played. But basically the venue was inside a puppet house. Not puppet house. A house run by like puppeteers.
Yes.
And they had these creepy like marionettes everywhere and puppets, and the lady that lives there her name is Pandora. She's a really cool lady. Telling us about all these different concepts she came up with the puppets. And yeah, I was excited for the show because I had a guy doing visuals that hopped on kind of last minute, and he had done stuff there before. And it was really cool. It was like a bunch of TVs and projections and you're kind of like capturing our face on the screen. Like the projector was capturing our face, projecting it onto the screen while we were playing, and it felt like everyone's music was sort of going along with the visual.
Yes.
But it was cool because I saw people I knew from Philly that moved down here, so they were on the lineup as well. And I don't know, everyone said they loved my set so much they want me to come back, and I do want to come back.
Yes. I think you should. I think you should. It would be I think that was a great show. I mean, you know, everybody did their thing, and like you said, the visuals were really good. I mean, it really added to everybody's element, really, and I thought it was great as an audience member. So I know that the place too, with all the puppetry and everything, that added to the vibe. So it was
yeah, it definitely added to the vibe.
Yeah.
There was just all this old, like, stuff in there, like an antique piano where in the room we were performing.
Yes.
And yeah, even though it was a cold night, it was still like cozy in there. Felt cozy in there.
Yes. Yes. And they had drinks too, so I mean.
Yeah, they did have drinks.
Did you have any afterwards? Well, I guess I mean, did you have any drinks after the show, after your performance? Or did you have any before?
I had like one before.
Yeah.
And then we went to some bar after.
Yeah. So the vibe of the town was, you know, pretty electrifying, I would say, and kind of spooky, I would say too. Like,
yeah, it was very creepy over there because it was like it's like no one on the street at night, but people are inside bars still. So it feels like no one's there, but people are there.
Yeah.
And the flickering like street lights. I try to get a picture here of like flickering street lights and like broken like back roads.
Yeah.
Like looks like recently flooded or something.
Right.
I guess there was a tornado there recently, so they were closed for a while and just reopened and had all these events in a row. So because it was a cold night, I guess the patrons who normally go there come because they had been there for all these recent events. They didn't really feel obliged to go to this one. But I feel like I brought probably new people to the venue who had never heard of this space before.
Surely. Surely. So, what are your future plans when it comes to creating? Did this performance stimulate you to, I guess, want to get back to work, or are you gonna take a little hiatus, or what do you think is gonna happen when you get back home to Philly? It is.
Yeah. I have a few gigs lined up in Philly in December, and so I have that planned. But even though I'm still like kind of promoting this new album and stuff, Chemical Christ, I like the music on it. I think it's very good, but I want to get started on another project.
Okay.
Because this project was more drum and bass and jungle, and I kind of want to experiment with other genres.
Yeah.
Like get back into house. Like start. I've been making like ballroom beats. And just make more danceable music that's not as fast, I guess.
Did this experience here give you any sort of energy to do that kind of music, or do you think it's
Yeah, and I think probably do it with kind of like a spooky, sad vibe like they usually do. So I feel like a lot of my stuff, no matter what genre I go into or what type of beat I go into, it always has the same vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like spooky, melancholy vibes. Yeah.
Yes. I get that.
I can't help it. I was born on Halloween.
Yes, right. So you're the queen of Halloween. So it makes sense. Now, after the show, you spent some time on Bourbon, I believe, and yeah.
Bourbon. Oh wait, Bourbon Street. Yes.
Bourbon Street, yes.
I was like, the liquor or the place?
Right. Yeah, no. Maybe you had that too.
I don't think I had bourbon on this trip.
Well, yeah, what was your time like after the show? What did you get into? Anything interesting?
Did like all the typical tourist stuff because I've never been to like the French Quarter. So hung out mostly on Bourbon Street yesterday and kind of drinking all day. Not like quickly or anything, but like steadily throughout the day because I felt like that was the vibe and everyone was just drunk in that part of town. But then went on a ghost tour. Oh wait, no, before that saw some dancers at the Jackson Square. And I felt like I was back home again because I'm always around break dancers in Philly and stuff. I would say I was impressed, but not that impressed. 'Cause I know people that are better back home. No shade to them.
Right.
But I guess the average person would be impressed.
Yeah.
But
Felt like a very tourist trap kind of thing
Tourist
that you
trap,
see in every
yeah.
big city, right?
Every big city, there's like street performers. But yeah. Then looked at people's artwork in the square, which was really cool.
Yes.
A lot of different types of art. And then we went to the oldest gay bar in America.
Yes. Yes. Now, what was that like?
That was interesting. I had some cool conversations with people upstairs that they said they had been there since 1 p.m. and it was now like 6 p.m.
It's like 6. Yeah. Did it feel like a time loop or something? Did you feel like you were?
It felt like a time loop, yeah. This honestly, the energy of New Orleans is weird. It feels like a time loop. And I don't know how to describe it. I think it's just like, or maybe that just happens when you're an alcoholic or a drug addict.
Possibly, but I do feel like there's some sort of truth to it.
But I feel like even if you're sober, it has that sort of vibe. And then we went on the ghost tour. We met at the courthouse. And where did we go from there? It was like, told us a ghost story from Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
And then the nunnery, the convent.
Yes.
People thought that a bunch of these women coming over were vampires from Europe. They stayed at the convent. They weren't vampires. They just, I think they were prostitutes.
Yeah.
But they tried to keep them away from the men, so they just like locked them up in the convent.
Right.
I can't remember like the ghost story there. Like, I don't think it was a ghost story. It was just like a vampire myth.
I think they said something about bringing them over in like coffin
They
boxes or something like
brought
that.
them over, these women over in coffin.
Yeah. I guess that was the spooky element to it. Like.
And then after that, the LaLaurie Mansion, which is like basically, we talked a little bit about spirituality before that. Yeah, like how if you're a practicing Catholic, basically practicing voodoo, and that there's a certain type of religion in New Orleans that's Catholic voodoo. Yeah, I could see that because the saints are the same concept as the Orishas in African voodoo.
Yes.
And then we went to the La Lori Mansion.
And what was that like?
I didn't like the energy surrounding that place. It had dark history of like the Loris torturing their slaves on the third floor, then like burying their bodies within the floorboards or something. And I guess because that was actually illegal in New Orleans to like torture your slaves. But once they were caught, they ran away and were never to be seen again. And then fast forward like 100, how long ago was that? Maybe 300 years. Nicolas Cage bought it, and then I don't know who owns it now, but
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
I guess.
Jack Nicholson. Yes.
Very rarely in town.
So do you think those stories gave you any sort of like inspiration for musical endeavors or just creativity in general? You think you're gonna take some of that back home to, put into your work? Maybe not like blatantly, but just the vibe?
Probably. Because I can relate to some of it. I was raised Catholic and kind of always into like witchcraft and stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a practicing witch or anything, but I think it's kind of cool to put intention into things, especially with music or art or whatever I do, like with dance. But I was saying, dance is a very spiritual practice for me.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like collecting your energy and letting it out physically. Rather than music, it just kind of feels like I'm sitting there sometimes. But I want to take some of the stories, I guess, and kind of use that as inspiration. Not directly, but I can apply some of it to my own life. Maybe write a song about how dance is a ritual or something.
Yes.
I don't know. That's just an idea.
I like that. You can put it in your dancing too. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be music, all the way through. It can be, in the dancing. So you have two different places to put that energy, I feel,
Yeah, and I'm excited to start making music again. Not that I haven't been making music. It's just I kind of took a hiatus got distracted by other things and was more immediately satisfied with like going into dancing and stuff. I feel like music is a more introspective type of art. You have to like think a lot about it, and haven't really felt like thinking a lot about it.
Truly. Which, I mean, I feel like for music that you don't think a lot about, there's genres for that. Like I feel like certain types of dance music you don't necessarily have to think too much about. It's like a type of music that is just for then and there, like,
And honestly, the best stuff I make is when I don't really think about it.
Yeah.
Or just kind of jam out and come up with a structure from that.
So do you think like your new stuff is going to be more introspective or just like right in your face, like jam session?
Probably right in your face jam session.
Okay, yeah.
With like a structure, but for me, I guess I write songs over the beats, so that's where the thinking part comes in, like with lyrics and song concepts.
So your process is, do you create the beats? Do you buy stuff? What is your process when it comes to creating music?
I usually make the drums first. Like, I always start with drums, then I add like bass and synths and other samples, and then I make the beat first, and then I make the vocal parts. I record the vocals over the beats. And sometimes I'll improvise the vocals, but usually I try to write like a verse or two or like a few one-liners that would sound good with it.
Your lyrical process, is it more so you think about it, or you just go with what you have in mind?
I usually just kind of go with what I have in mind, but then I look back and I'm like, oh, that's because I was thinking about this. Or like, then it makes sense later. It doesn't really make sense while I'm doing it though.
Yes.
But I think that moving forward, I want to have a little more intention with the vocal part of my music.
So your process is mainly all you, like you create everything that you do. So
Yeah, and then I usually have someone help me, like with mastering.
But I think that's awesome that you can do it all. Like, you can do the music and then or create the music and then the lyrical content. And then you have the dancing. So it's like a full package.
Yeah. There's just these big dogs here.
Yeah, they just came in and jumped up on the counter. So, okay. I feel like this place has been a great inspiration for your creative side. I mean, do you think it's a place that you could come back to often and do you think you would want to come back here just based on the city itself, or like based on creative inspiration?
I think a little bit of both. I definitely want to come back just based on the city itself. I don't know if I would be productive here, like making things, honestly. But I do definitely get like some inspiration from it.
I would feel the same, but I do feel like it would be nice to like get like an Airbnb and like pay for one that you can exclusively have and like set up shop and record.
Yeah, the music I've made like in London, where I started when I went to school there, definitely sounded different than when I moved back to the States.
Yes.
So I feel like, yeah, in different cities, what you make does sound different.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to try that out.
Yeah, go in different places and like just setting up shop for however long you can. Making stuff. Do you think this would be on the list of places to go?
Yeah.
Do you have a list of places that you would want to go to make music in?
I think
what's the top 3?
Definitely here. I haven't really been to other places in the South. I've been to, I haven't really been to other cities in the South.
Yeah.
Probably here. I don't really know. I don't really have other cities in mind. Maybe just like the middle of nowhere somewhere.
Yes.
But I've seen a lot of cool-looking remote islands in North Carolina. No city name or anything. I also really like the desert.
Yeah.
Like
I know we
Southern
talked about Arizona. About Arizona.
I've never been to Arizona, but I want to go there.
Yeah.
And I'm about to fly to Denver, but not just for a layover.
So places like, given the next 6 months, what is what is on Cami's schedule for like the next 6 months?
I think working on my next project,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get, I don't know the format of it yet, but yeah, I want to try to make like an EP
Mm-hmm.
in the next 6 months, and also maybe get into designing clothes more again, so that I can make more merchandise.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I have a few shows when I get back in Philly,
Mm-hmm.
New York. Other than that, yeah, I just want to work on new stuff. Keep promoting this one that just came out.
Yes. So the project is called Chemical Press. Actually,
Yeah, and I enjoy playing the songs live, so I will be playing those songs live.
and that's the best part. You think that's the best part? Being able to perform the songs in front of people?
Yeah, I think that is the best part.
Yeah. Because making them is one thing.
When you actually play it in front of a crowd and they love it, it's a really cool feeling.
Yes.
I don't really see the point in making music if you can't perform it. But I guess the context of my music is also like clubs or in the car. I heard someone say that music is only in 3 different contexts: either car,
Mm-hmm.
or commute,
Mm-hmm.
the club,
Mm-hmm.
or at home.
This is true. This is true. There is headphone music out there when you're just, walking around or at home. I think I do like music that is like headphone music because it's introspective. And then there is music that is, I guess, meant to be played out loud in a, different atmosphere.
Yeah. My music could be either. Well, it's definitely like in-your-face music, but
Mhm.
it has like introspective elements to it.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. Like you can, if you want to go out into a club atmosphere with it, you can. But if you also want to sit and chill and like zone out,
Because people tell me it's very entrancing. Like,
yes.
My music tends to put them in a trance, so I guess it could be enjoyed either way.
Yeah, that's what I felt at the show. I felt with all the visuals and your vocal processing and whatnot. That was in a entrancing state. I felt entranced, and so, but it also works in a big room like setting. Like the beats are pretty in your face, and the vocals are kind of boisterous too. So it's it's really good in that setting. But I know your earlier stuff I was sitting with before, like at home, just chilling, and like it works there too. So yeah, it has a good hybrid feeling, which is pretty cool.
I will say I'm excited to go home because it's been kind of cold here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's definitely gonna be colder back home.
Kind of weird all over the place now, weather-wise.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be like that down here. So
Yeah.
I do want to come when it's warmer and more humid. I do like humidity sometimes.
And
yeah, maybe spend more time outdoors
Mhm.
in the bayou and stuff next time. Maybe, yeah. I feel like if I were to come back, I'd rent somewhere down there, like below the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Stay in a more remote area, and maybe like rent a bike or something.
Mhm. That would be great. Then you're
Because-
definitely soaking in a lot of that energy.
Because it's so flat here, it's really easy to just bike around. I'm used to like hills and stuff.
If it's flat, you can just go for hours, and not get
Yeah.
tired. So I like to bike. I biked a lot in California, but it's different. Here, it would be
more acceptable.
More, yeah.
In California, people, they look at you weird if you're not in a car.
Well, I stuck to the beach, so just beach biking.
I guess I'm excited to go back because it's what I know.
Yeah.
But it was nice to dip my toes in New Orleans.
No, right.
Dip my toes.
Yes.
And like kind of just feel out the vibes in this place. And next time I'll probably stay longer.
I think you deserve to stay longer. I mean, you know, just to get a bit more of the energy soaked in. So, but I'm excited to hear what comes thereafter this. Is there anything that you want to do to like enhance your creative process, like taking trips?
Yeah, I think for sure. And the beach, anywhere near the water, I prefer.
Yeah.
I know I said the desert, but I'm not really spent much time up there either. Anywhere that's kind of remote and or near water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely want to take more trips.
Yeah, because water holds a lot of energy, I feel. So, for some reason, it just feels good. Most of my time by water has felt a lot different than being inland.
Yeah, it being too inland makes me kind of upset. I don't know why.
I get that. So then the desert will really feel different.
Yeah, but at least it's a cool landscape.
Yeah.
I just love the landscape of the desert.
I would like to hear Cami's music that is like spawned from the desert.
Yeah.
That'll be a different vibe. But for now, we'll get to water music, New Orleans, and you know, places like
Water
that.
music.
Water music, yeah. Any last thoughts? What do you want the people to know?
I don't know what I want the people to know. I want them to just be intrigued to hear more. Yeah, like to let them know that my music can be enjoyed in any setting, like we just said.
True.
And hopefully it inspires them too to tell stories and be creative themselves and not stick to one formula for anything. Sticking to one thing is boring.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good send-off. I will close by saying this has been Conversation with Cami. I am Spadey in New Orleans, and hopefully you guys can tune in to the music, the dancing, the art, the everything. Where can people tune into your music?
Bandcamp. I'm about to put my latest album on other streaming platforms, but I just put it on Bandcamp exclusively first.
Okay.
But you can hear my music there, and the older stuff you can hear on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, all the main streaming services. And I also have a YouTube where I put my music videos, and a TikTok where I put my dance videos.
And people would have to put in Cami-Oh, so Cami, and like dash
Yeah.
OH.
Yeah. So
Okay.
There's a hyphen in there.
Okay.
So if you find it, you put the hyphen.
Nice. Well, thank you, Cami, for being here in New Orleans and giving a great time, giving a great performance, great energy, and hopefully we will see more very soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
The sights, the sounds, the tastes, the textures. Thank you, Cami, for allowing me to come on the Chemical Crest adventure with you and get a snapshot of what it was like to be you in that moment. I believe the witchy vibes of Nolans at the time allowed me to get into character. I was a witch doctor in my head, so thank you for allowing me to play that with you, and furthermore, enjoy the sounds of your latest album. Your music is very entrancing, I love it, and I can't wait to hear more. Thank you. Love, Spadey, you're in my era.